All right, well, today we're leveling up the truck. Got that HVAC box all in there, like I said. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this dash in. Once I get that bolted in and things kind of lined out, we're gonna go up under the hood here and start getting all the wiring lined out in place where it needs to go for the final time. Once I can get all that kind of lined out, set in place, and go from there, I can then possibly, even if I have enough time, power up the system, see what it looks like, and go from there. I don't have my professional scan tool here today, but if I do get it at least powered up to see what it looks like in the instrument cluster, I can come back and just see if all the modules communicate, and then prep the airbag module to be programmed to the lightning VIN. So moving along here, again, once I can get this electrical all squared away, it's really just going to become basic mechanics from there. We're just going to be reassembling a bunch of things. There'll be less and less basically obstacles to overcome, just a lot of bolt-on stuff. So with that said, let's get to work and get this stuff done. All right, quick update here. So I have the dash set in place. It's partially bolted in. The biggest issue is just about every single piece of hardware in the dash was removed. All the plastics here that were bolted to the frame structure of the dash itself, for some reason it was completely removed. It wasn't necessary. So getting all the hardware fasteners put in, things like these little dash vents here, these were out and just in a pile. So having to figure out, since I didn't take it apart, all the miscellaneous missing pieces. I've had several pieces set in place, like this piece I had set up in here, and then I just noticed something didn't look right. There was hardware that looked like something should have been screwed into. So just searching through the pile of parts to try and figure out what order everything goes in is definitely a challenge. And so did that, just getting some of the stuff routed. I just found out that the headlight switch here, that's supposed to bolt into a dash piece, here's the 97 one. If you look here on the back, these plugs don't match up. So unfortunately, another item that's going to have to get changed to the 2000s. The kit that the salvage yard gave us was really as complete as they could possibly get it. They're not going to give us everything out of the truck because that just doesn't make any sense. So just miscellaneous. I already have a brake light switch ordered and coming because I knew that one was going to be needed, but headlight switch is another item that's going to be needed. But just getting everything prepped to where I can plug in as much stuff as possible to test it out and just kind of go from there is where we're at. But I'm just going to keep plugging away, getting as many things bolted in as possible, trying to make this dash look as complete as possible before I move out under the hood. I don't like bouncing around. I like to get as much stuff in one place done as possible. All right, so we're going to have a brief update here. I've got, as you can see, the Lightning instrument cluster mounted in there. Getting a lot of the dash trim apart. Every single piece of hardware was definitely removed on this. It's kind of unbelievable that it was tackled this way, but just slowly going through, finding stuff that's not hooked up, it's not screwed in, missing pieces, things like that. One issue that I'm going to have to rectify is right here in the driver's kick panel. This is off the 2000 Lightning harness that comes from the dash. This is the 97 F-150 truck harness that goes into the door itself for like power windows and locks. So I'm probably going to have to hardwire this or come up with something. I'm not really sure. I may have to go the route of making my own disconnect to go here. I don't know if I'll be able to actually find the pigtail that goes to this and swap it over. But that'll be, it's not that big of a deal. I just have to figure out which way I want to go with it. But they're large gauge wires, so I'm going to have to figure out some way to do it, just because this truck's going to be kept for a while. And if the dash does ever have to come out, I need it to be serviceable because I'm going to be the one working on it. So I need to do it in some way that I'm not going to tick myself off down the road for why didn't I spend the time to do it. So that'll be one small hurdle. Another thing is up here for the power port. And when I got this truck, the interior harness off the 97 was missing. I had both harnesses for the engine. that came with it, but the other one likely got thrown away by the previous shop. So one of the things I was missing is there's a small harness that connects these cigarette lighter and power ports to, I've already got it somewhat rammed, but this plug right here. So it's got a little short jump harness that this part stays with it, connects to here. I believe I've sourced one, so we're going to be waiting on that to come in. And then another harness issue I found for us not having the interior harness is over here. This plug right here goes to the HVAC blower motor and resistor, and so it also has a short little harness that connects the, if you look right here, blower motor, that plug there, and then if I can find it, there's your resistor plug. So there's no harness for both of those, so that's something I'm probably going to have to make. So that's going to be unfortunate. I can hardwire this one, because if I can't source it, find it cheap enough, I'll have to just hardwire it. I can just simply unplug those and it can go with it. So it's not something that has to have it that way in itself. So the only reason they use these short harnesses was for assembly line purposes to speed things along. So that's where I'm at there. I'm about to go under the hood and start working on that under dash harness. All right, little update here. I had to stop or not work on this connection point here in the kick panel. This is off of the 2000 Lightning interior dash harness, and then this right here is the driver's, one of two connections for the driver's door harness that goes right here. 7 pins with bullet style pins, and then this one is only got 6 wires, and they are flat spade style connections if you look in there. So they don't mate up. Ford also changed the wiring just a little bit from the 97 to 2000. They deleted one wire, which was really just a extra signal terminal going to the body control module, also known as the GEM module. So since they did that, they changed the connection a little bit. So what we're going to do now is remove both of these connectors, and then I found this connection, make your own type. That's what it looks like. It's 412 gauge wiring, which is essentially what that is. It might even be 14 gauge, but high load. So we're going to put this in place here of these two connectors. Then they will connect up together right here. I will be able to tie it into this. So unless you're a diehard Ford person, if you just glance in here and saw this connection, you would think it came stock like that. That's the whole point, is just to make everything look as tidy and right as possible. And then that also makes this serviceable, because the only other option I would have had was just hardwire this together. But then if the dash ever needed to fully come out, I wouldn't have plugs to remove out of the way so I could fully remove the dash. And since I'm probably going to be the one working on this vehicle for quite some time, I want to be able to pull that out if I ever need to pull the dash out for some crazy reason. So that's what we're doing. I got the time lapse set up so you can kind of see how that process unfolds or how tedious it is. And here we go. All right, quick next thing I wanted to mention here that I didn't think of, but this illustrates it, is I'm actually going to de-pin this harness. And the reason I'm doing that is these sit just a little bit recessed in there, and so I'm basically going to save as much of the wire as possible by trimming it at this exact spot. I know it's only probably about 1/2 inch, but when I'm doing something like this, every little bit matters, and then this way I can more precisely kind of get what I need out of it. But that's what you do, and realistically it's pretty easy. You just had a red lock in the middle there that went across, pulled that out, and then I was able to release the locking tabs that you see underneath each pin there. That's how you depin a terminal. And if you just needed to replace the plastic connector or whatever, that's how you kind of do it. Or if you need to replace these ends, that's how you do it. But that's what we're going to do. So we're going to cut this off and we'll have new terminals that we'll put on, and then we'll slide those into the new connectors. And simple as that. All right, so here is the connector for it. I got it all put together. It looks pretty good overall. Right here is the main ground. Had to do a little bit of an improvisation. The wire is so thick, I couldn't get it to go into the little pins. These little guys. I think these are maximum 14 gauge, and that's like a 12 to 10 gauge. So I have some leftover connectors from some of my previous hot rod builds. I put this in there and connected it up. It's still able to be disconnected, which is what I want. I need this to be serviceable so that for whatever reason, if this dash has got to come back out, I can just disconnect it, hook it back up, and it's just easy, plain, simple, and clean. And then everything stays organized. It's not like it's going to get easily messed up. So that's what we're after. Looks great, and I think I'm happy with that. All right, so I've gotten a bunch of the electrical stuff all hooked up. Just went over that area down there. Got majority of that stuff hooked up. We still have some accessories and things undone, but I'm at the point here where I want to see what happens when I turn the key. Lightning column that came with it's installed. Got the key for it. I have installed the battery. This is literally the first time I'm going to flip the key, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. We have power, ladies and gentlemen. Lights are lighting up, things are whatever. Check engine lights on, which tells us that the PCM is reading. Airbags flashing. We do have airbag components disconnected, and the module needs to be programmed anyway. But look at there, we have power to the system. Turn signals or turn signaling. Yep, look at there. Let's see if our power windows work. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Hello, fresh air. The side's not. Oh, there it goes. Bam, guys. We have power. All right, it's another night into the night of another long, what turned out to be a week's worth of work. I tried to get that kick panel wiring done a couple days ago when I got that connector in, but the part I got from Amazon looked like somebody maybe had opened it, been in it to it once before or whatnot. But yeah, I got a replacement one, got that worked out. I had to do the improvising itself, but I got to the point where I was like, man, I can just power this up, see what happens. Probably bring my scan tool home tomorrow and see what's communicating, what's not, which is the biggest deal. I want to know what's happening with those modules, just kind of see if there's anything I need to be on the lookout for before I go back and start doing even more reassembly. But right there, seeing that thing power up, come to life,
really energizes somebody after a long project, because you can really feel like this thing's starting to move along. We're going to start seeing more and more progress. These windows being open, allowing this truck to air out so it doesn't have that stench of defeat from where it sat previously. Yeah, all that defeat smell is really starting to leave it now. So we're definitely getting somewhere. We're getting excited. Going to start getting some bigger things done now that the electrical systems seem to be coming along. We got some great success there. So with that said, like, follow, comment, do all the things, and peace.